Hey there, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're cracking open the August 2024 issue of BBC Science Focus.
Okay.
It's a real grab bag this time,
Yeah.
from unlimited energy to deep sea creatures.
Right.
Even a peek at whether lions' mane mushrooms live up to the hype?
Yeah.
Buckle up,
Yeah.
because we're about to go from the Earth's core to the ocean depths and beyond.
You know, it's really striking about these articles how they showcase the interconnectedness of all this.
Yeah,
Discoveries in one field, they often spark innovation in others, right?
absolutely.
Leading to unexpected breakthroughs.
Like that cover story on geothermal energy. I mean, the image alone, boring into the Earth's core, screams groundbreaking.
Really does, yeah.
But the article itself goes even deeper.
Exploring the potential for near limitless clean energy.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating case study that actually starts with a familiar landmark, the Eden Project in Cornwall. Those iconic biomes, home to a rainforest and even Mediterranean landscapes, are already being heated using traditional geothermal energy.
That in itself is amazing, using hot water from underground to create a tropical paradise in the UK.
Yeah, but this company, Koi's Energy, is taking things to a whole new level.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How so?
So Koi's Energy, they're pioneering a revolutionary technology called millimeter wave drilling.
Okay.
They're using super focused beams of energy to vaporize rock, basically, and drill deeper than we ever thought possible.
Wow.
Mm.
So they're aiming for something called supercritical water, right?
Right.
I have to admit, I'd never even heard of it before this.
Yeah. It's pretty wild stuff, actually.
Okay.
Supercritical water exists at extreme depths and temperatures.
Okay.
It's not quite a liquid, not quite a gas, but this in-between state that holds an incredible amount of energy.
Okay.
Koi's Energy believes that by tapping into this resource, we could unlock a near-limitless supply of clean energy.
Okay, now that's a game changer. Just imagine abandoned coal mines transformed into geothermal plants. Talk about turning a liability into a global asset.
It's a compelling vision, but the article doesn't shy away from the challenges either.
Right.
Drilling miles below the Earth's surface, dealing with extreme temperatures and potential seismic activity. These are not small feats.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, are we as a society ready to invest in the research and development needed to overcome these obstacles?
Well, the experts interviewed seem to agree. With government support and continued investment in research, geothermal energy could be a key player in solving the global energy crisis. It's a big if, but with even bigger potential rewards.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential for unlimited energy. Now let's dive into something equally captivating, the mysteries of the deep sea.
Right.
I'm constantly amazed by those bizarre creatures that lurk in the depths looking like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
This issue has a great piece on deep sea vision, specifically
Yeah.
focusing on the creatures that inhabit the ocean's twilight zone.
Okay.
So between 200 to 1,000 meters deep, where sunlight barely penetrates, life has found incredible ways to adapt.
And they specifically highlight these tiny crustaceans called hypereids. They might look like shrimp, but their eyes are just out of this world.
Yeah.
Some are massive and dome-shaped, while others are these bizarre fused cones.
It's a perfect example of how evolution finds multiple solutions to the same problem,
Yeah.
Even within this single group of crustaceans, there's this stunning diversity in eye design, all geared towards maximizing vision in near total darkness.
Like the cystosoma, with their transparent bodies and highly specialized compound eyes that make them incredibly sensitive to even the faintest glimmer of light. Talk about being built for the deep.
And then you have the paraphronema, with their two sets of eyes, one set looking upwards.
What?
Yeah, specifically to spot these gelatinous creatures called salps.
Okay.
They actually hijack the salps' bodies and live inside them. It's a wild example of adaptation.
Wow, talk about a creature with a mission. And speaking of specialized vision, there's the Hyperia with those huge dome-shaped eyes, optimized for seeing in extremely dim conditions.
Right.
It's like they're carrying around their own personal headlights.
And the phronema have taken a different approach, with their two pairs of eyes, one set for a wide-angle view and the other for more focused vision.
Don't forget about the Streetsia.
Oh, right.
They've taken things to the next level by fusing their conical eyes into a single organ that gives them nearly 360-degree vision.
Wow.
Talk about having eyes on the back of your...
Well,
You get the idea.
it's not just the weird and wonderful designs that are intriguing, though.
Right.
Studying these hyperiid eyes is giving scientists valuable insights into the evolution of vision and inspiring new technologies for deep-sea exploration as well.
It makes you wonder what kind of incredible cameras and sensors we could design if we could truly unlock the secrets of Hyperion vision.
Imagine underwater robots with that kind of visual acuity, navigating the deepest trenches with ease.
It's mind-blowing, but it's not just the little guys that have mastered the art of deep-sea vision.
Hmm.
The article also talks about those giants of the deep, the giant and colossal squid.
Right, those massive predators have developed huge eyes that are perfectly adapted to detect the faint bioluminescent light produced by creatures in the abyss.
And get this, colossal squid can even see ultraviolet light.
Is that right?
Yeah. Scientists believe that this might help them spot predators lurking in the darkness.
Fascinating.
It's a constant arms race down there, with each species evolving ever more ingenious ways to outmaneuver the other.
Absolutely.
Speaking of unusual creatures, they also briefly mention the ocean sunfish,
Right.
which is basically a giant swimming head.
They're actually the heaviest bony fish on the planet. It's hard to believe that these massive creatures start out as tiny larvae,
Wow.
but they undergo a tremendous growth spurt to reach their colossal size.
It's amazing. I can't help but picture a swimming pancake. Anyway, let's shift gears from the ocean depths to something a bit more, shall we say, digestible.
Okay.
Lion's mane mushrooms have been getting a lot of buzz lately for their supposed health benefits.
Yeah, they're definitely having a moment.
Hmm.
With their distinctive shaggy appearance and mild, slightly sweet flavor, they're popping up everywhere, from restaurant menus to health food stores.
But do they actually live up to the hype?
Well, there has been some intriguing research, but it's important to note that most of these studies have been conducted on rodents or in-cell cultures.
So, promising early findings, but not a lot of human data to go on just yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some studies have shown that lion's mane can regulate blood sugar levels in rodents, and there's some early evidence suggesting potential benefits for cardiovascular health and cognitive function.
They've even been touted as a potential cancer fighter and gut health booster. But I guess more research is needed to see if those claims hold water.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that every substance has potential side effects.
Right.
The article mentions that some people experience gastrointestinal issues, nausea, and even allergic reactions after consuming lion's mane.
So, as with any supplement, it's always best to talk to your doctor before adding it to your routine, especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions.
Exactly. It's all about making informed decisions based on solid evidence and personalized medical advice.
Well said. Now, speaking of fascinating research,
This issue of BBC Science Focus really dives into some fascinating corners of the natural world. Did you get a chance to read about that mammoth's discovery?
oh, absolutely. It's not every day you hear about a 52,000-year-old woolly mammoth being unearthed. And not just any mammoth. This one was so well preserved, they're calling it a new type of fossil.
It's remarkable. The article mentioned that the mammoth was essentially freeze-dried,
Wow.
which preserved its 3D structure and even its chromosomes in astonishing detail.
I know. They described the chromosomes as having a glass-like quality.
Right.
And get this, the researchers tested their durability by running a sample over with a car and even shooting at it. Talk about tough DNA.
It really highlights the incredible resilience of genetic material and the potential for unlocking even more secrets from the past.
Yeah.
Imagine what other discoveries await in the permafrost.
It's both exciting and a little bit eerie to think about. Okay, ready for something a bit closer to home?
Of course. What caught your eye?
Well, I was intrigued by this article on something called dark empaths. It's like a whole new level of psychological complexity.
Right. It challenges the traditional view of psychopaths as individuals entirely lacking empathy.
Mm-hmm.
This article suggests that there's a subset of people who exhibit both dark personality traits, like narcissism and manipulation, but also possess high levels of empathy.
So they understand how other people feel, but might use that knowledge to their advantage, even exploit them.
Right.
It's a bit unsettling, to be honest.
It does raise some red flags, especially if these individuals are in positions of power. The article emphasizes the importance of being aware of these personality types
Right.
and recognizing potential warning signs.
It's almost like that saying, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. If you don't even realize someone is manipulating you, how can you protect yourself?
It's a good point. The article doesn't offer any easy solutions, but it does highlight the importance of trusting your gut instincts.
Okay.
If something feels off about someone, it's worth paying attention to those feelings.
Great advice. Now, ready for a complete change of pace. Remember we were talking about deep-sea creatures earlier?
Hmm.
Well, turns out there are some surprising land animals that have also mastered unique ways of moving, like flying hippos.
It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. The article explains that hippos, despite their bulky build and association with water, actually spend a considerable amount of time on land
Right.
and can run up to 15 miles per hour.
That's faster than I can run. But how on earth do they manage that with those short legs and massive bodies?
Researchers discovered that hippos have a unique stride cycle, where they lift all 4 feet off the ground simultaneously.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a brief moment of flight during their stride, similar to a horse's gallop, but more pronounced.
So they might not be winning any Grace Awards, but they get the job done. It's amazing what we can learn when we take a closer look at even the most familiar creatures.
Absolutely. This research not only changes our understanding of hippo locomotion, but it could also have practical applications in veterinary medicine and animal care.
It's a good reminder that there are always new discoveries to be made, even in our own backyards. Now, speaking of exploration, I was particularly excited about the article on the European Space Agency's new Ariane 6 rocket launch.
It's a major milestone for European space exploration. The Ariane 6 has been in development for years, and it's designed to be more versatile and cost-effective than previous models.
It's incredible to think about the level of engineering and international collaboration that goes into a project like this, and the fact that it can carry everything from scientific instruments to satellites is just mind-blowing.
Exactly. This launch represents a significant leap forward in our ability to explore and understand the cosmos.
Although it wasn't without its hiccups, right? The article mentioned an anomaly during the first mission.
Yes, there was an issue with the rocket's upper stage, which had to be shut down earlier than planned. However, it's important to note that the mission was still considered a success,
Okay.
as the rocket successfully deployed its payloads into orbit.
It's a testament to the skill and dedication of the engineers who designed and built this complex machine. Even with unforeseen challenges, they were able to achieve the mission objectives.
And these types of challenges are often part of the process of pushing the boundaries of what's possible in space exploration.
Right.
Each mission provides valuable data and insights that contribute to the advancement of future endeavors.
Now, for something a little closer to home, though no less important, did you have a chance to read the article about the concerning state of our rivers?
I did, and it's definitely a sobering reminder of the impact our actions have on the environment. The infographic highlighting the sheer number of sewage overflows occurring in UK waterways was particularly striking.
The volume of untreated sewage being released into our rivers is shocking, especially in a developed nation like the UK. It makes you question how this is still happening.
The article delves into the reasons behind these overflows,
Okay.
including aging infrastructure, ill-equipped to handle increased rainfall due to climate change.
It's a stark reminder that climate change isn't just about rising temperatures. It's impacting every aspect of our environment, including our water system.
Absolutely. And it's not just an environmental issue. It poses serious risks to public health as well.
Right.
Swimming in contaminated water can lead to a host of illnesses.
It's definitely made me rethink my next wild swimming adventure. What can we even do about such a complex problem?
Well, the article does offer some hope.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the need for investment in upgraded sewage systems,
Okay.
advocating for stricter environmental regulations, and raising public awareness about the issue.
It sounds like it will require a multi-pronged approach involving government action, technological innovation, and individual responsibility. Speaking of individual responsibility, I was really struck by that article on how to improve sleep quality. Who doesn't want to wake up feeling more refreshed?
It's something we all struggle with at some point. What I found fascinating was the discussion of chronotypes. Did you get a chance to read about
Yeah,
it?
the article mentioned those. It's basically the idea that we all have a natural sleep-wake cycle, right? Some of us are early birds, others are night owls. I've always been more of a night owl myself.
Sure, it's like having an internal clock that's set a little differently. And the article suggests that instead of fighting against our chronotype, we can work with it to optimize our sleep.
That's a relief because I've tried changing my sleep schedule so many times and it never seems to stick.
Yeah, one of the simplest yet most effective strategies they highlight is using light exposure to our advantage.
Okay.
Think about waking up with natural daylight. Throwing open those curtains and letting the morning sun flood your room. It's like a natural reset button for our internal clocks.
So it's not just about getting enough sleep, but also about getting the right kind of light at the right time. Makes sense. What about those of us who are glued to our screens before bed? Guilty as charged.
The article definitely advises against that. It turns out that exposure to bright light especially blue light from electronic devices, can interfere with our sleep. It suppresses melatonin production, which is a key hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
Okay, so that late night scrolling habit is officially on the chopping block. But are there any tips for those nights when your mind just won't quiet down, even if you've ditched the screens?
Absolutely. They talk about a technique called cognitive refocusing,
Okay.
which is essentially about consciously shifting your attention away from worries and to-do lists and towards something more relaxing.
So instead of replaying that awkward work meeting in my head, I should be planning my dream vacation.
Exactly. Or revisiting a happy memory, visualizing a peaceful scene, anything that helps to calm your mind and signal to your body that it's time to unwind.
I like the sound of that. And speaking of unwinding, what about that sleep restriction therapy they mentioned? It seemed a bit counterintuitive, less time in bed to get more restful sleep.
It does sound odd at first,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But the idea is that by strategically reducing the amount of time we spend in bed, we can actually increase our sleep efficiency. Essentially, we're training our bodies to fall asleep faster and stay asleep throughout the night.
So it's like a boot camp for our sleep cycles. Well, I have to say, this has been another incredible deep dive into the world of science. We've covered so much ground, from the promise of unlimited energy to the mysteries of deep-sea creatures, the complexities of the human mind, the vastness of space exploration, and even the challenges facing our own ecosystems.
It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and the boundless curiosity that drives us to explore, understand, and innovate.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the most exciting part is, these discoveries are just the beginning. Who knows what other groundbreaking innovations and mind-blowing revelations await us in the future?
What new wonders will we uncover about our planet, ourselves, and the universe beyond? One thing's for sure, it's an incredible time to be alive and engaged in the never-ending pursuit of knowledge.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back soon with more fascinating discoveries and thought-provoking discussions. Until then, keep those questions swirling.